What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. So, we're here with the Michael Jackson, The Verdict official trailer. Now, I saw this yesterday in passing. And I had a couple of guys in my Discord actually mention that to me. One of them posted the trailer like 30 seconds after I had finished watching it, and we talked about it a little bit. And I felt like I wanted to give my thoughts on the trailer because I feel that they connect to the other quick take videos that I did about the estate and, the accusers and the biopic and how all of these things, connect. So let's give this a thorough watch and I'll give my thoughts afterwards. Having watched this a second time, a bit closer, the one thing that's popping up in my mind is the fact that the release of this thing is not coincidental. Like, this is a covert, orchestrated effort to negate and diminish any sort of good publicity Michael Jackson has or gets. Think about it. It's like for every one or two good things that pop up in the media as it relates to Michael Jackson, you always have something else that's negative to go with it. And I said that a long time ago when I talked about the biopic and how it got delayed because of the agreement made with the accusers back in the 90s to not, depict them in any sort of, media or dramatize their story and all this shit. And I was like, why can't we just have the biopic just have a normal pre-production phase just like every other fucking movie and let it come out and let it be what it is and let's celebrate and let us move on? There's always a caveat. There's always something, attached to it. Always something negative. And this kind of reminds me of the Diddy documentary. It reminds me of that. And you have to look at it for what it is, because back then when the Diddy documentary came out, the timing of it was deliberate. All right. Because if I'm not mistaken, when that shit dropped, I think Diddy was like, still, I don't know if he was in jail yet, but I remember like everything was like peak at that point, if I'm not mistaken, or he probably already was in jail. I don't remember. But I say that to say this, that this documentary seems to be in a similar vein of what the Diddy documentary was. Okay. And I wonder what the angle for this is, because if in the court of law, Michael Jackson was proven innocent, then what is the purpose of doing a documentary? To try to get people to say, okay, even though he was innocent, look at all of these other details here, and let that be food for thought to change your opinion or to sway your opinion and your perception of Michael Jackson and what the trial was and what the legal proceedings resulted in. And for the guys in my Discord, they said that this thing is produced by a specific lady. I don't remember what her name is. Let me find out who it is. Now, my thing is, I'm not really familiar with who that is, so let's find out who Diane Diamond is. Let's find out who she is. So the AI overview, before I do some more digging, it says investigative reporter Diane Diamond and former hard copy television producer Stephen Duran were sued by Michael Jackson. In 1995, Jackson filed a $100 million slander suit against them, Paramount Pictures, and a Los Angeles radio station over broadcast reports about an alleged videotape. The lawsuit was dismissed in 1997. The $100 million slander and libel lawsuit specifically targeted Diamond. Producer Stephen Duran and Paramount Pictures. Jackson's legal team claimed they broadcasted vicious and wholly fabricated stories regarding an alleged 27-minute X-rated videotape that supposedly depicted Jackson committing illegal acts with a minor. A California judge later dismissed the suit. The court granted summary judgment in favor of Duran, Diamond, and Paramount, ruling that the reports were substantially true based on the evidence and found a lack of evidence of malice. Journalism legacy. Diane Diamond is famously known as the investigative journalist who originally broke the 1993 child molestation allegations against Michael Jackson. Oh yeah, so we already know what it is. She extensively covered his 2005 criminal trial and authored the book, Be Careful Who You Love, Inside the Michael Jackson Case. And it says you could read more about the court's decision in the original Justicia Law Archive, or learn more about Diamond's broader investigative career via her website. Okay. All right. So basically, this is another hit piece, essentially. That's what this is. So we know who this is being made by. And we know the intention behind this documentary. Okay? And again, this is all strategic. All right? Because you got Leaving Neverland people, James Safechuck, Wade Robson. Then you got the Cascios coming out, doing their thing. Okay? And then you have the biopic that comes out. And then now you have the Cascios coming out again. You know, with a 60-minute fucking segment that I tore apart to pieces. And then now you have this lady dropping a Netflix mockumentary, most likely, about Michael Jackson. So y'all see what I meant when I said that these people are all part of a master plot to destroy Michael Jackson's legacy. Because people, you see, Netflix doesn't just like randomly decide to release things like this. Okay? It's like you have to have like status to get some shit on Netflix. This is not Tubi we're talking about. So you have real power players, guys in suits behind this documentary, and having that shit be released whenever the fuck this shit is coming out. I don't even remember when it said it's dropping. All right? So I'm saying that to say, you see what the enemy is doing. You see what these people are doing. And this ties into what I said before, where, you know, in my opinion, what they're trying to do is this. Because the biopic could have went one or two ways, right? One way is that the Michael Jackson movie would have came out and then it would have critically and commercially failed. All right. And then this is when they would have continued to do what they were going to do anyway, regardless. But it would have been easier for them because the movie would have been panned, and then commercially the movie would have failed. So Michael Jackson's likeness and legacy would have been on the downside. But because of the response that the public has given to the movie, they still have to do what they're doing anyway, but it's a little bit harder because now Michael Jackson's legacy is on the upside. They didn't really plan for this. It's like the benefactors of this whole thing are benefiting from it, but at the same time, they're not, because again, the overall plot is to wipe Michael Jackson away and then take whatever it is that he was protecting with his last dying breath, which was his catalog, and they already got 50% of that. I talk about all of this in my other quick takes. I'm just re-emphasizing these things because I see the moves clear as day. To me personally, because again, it's like y'all had all last year to drop this documentary. Y'all had all the year before that and the year before that. Like, to me, it's all right. If I'm a Michael Jackson hater, if I'm somebody that I feel that Michael Jackson is guilty, then I would have went for a full onslaught on all sides of the spectrum. So I would have met up with Wade Robson, James Safechuck, the Cascios, Diane Diamond, all of these people, and I would have been like, all right, we're gonna drop hit pieces back to back to back to back, and we're all gonna be like the Avengers of Michael Jackson haters. That's what I would have did. But it's like they're all trying to separate it to make it seem like they're not, in cahoots, but they all are. They just don't want to make it obvious. But it's obvious to me. Like I said, I play chess. I know the moves that they're making. And I know the goal at the end of the day is to, again, wipe Michael Jackson away from history because he was like Neo in the damn Matrix. And then they want to just take the other half of the gold mine that he left behind. Well, Michael Jackson was saying before he died that like, fuck Sony, this, fuck Tommy Mottola, all of this people. These people still exist. They're still out there. It's not like they died along with him. No, they're still here. And the goal is still the same. If people want to say that, Prince's death was a conspiracy, then what do you think about Michael Jackson? This is what I keep saying. I'm saying that, and I've been saying that when you have billions of dollars on the line, you don't think certain people want to get their hands on that? And they'll do what they need to do to get their hands on that. Because money in this life equates to power. Michael Jackson had too much power. So these people got together, sat in a boardroom, and were like, yo, how do we get rid of this guy? How do we systematically tear this man apart? In life and in death. And they're still attacking him now because it's like what they did to him was not enough to get us to stop supporting this man. So they're pulling out all the stops, because calling somebody a child molester, again, is like one of the most heinous things you could be called and labeled in this life, in this society now. And they slap that shit on him. And us, we know that shit ain't true. But the average casual, the average layman, they'll watch this Netflix series, and we know most people are not well read. They're not well researched. They don't want to go the extra mile to find the truth. So they'll just be comfortable with the lie that is spoon-fed to them via Netflix. The difference between Michael Jackson and Diddy, like I said before, is that there was blatant evidence against Diddy. Undisputable evidence against this man. I am 99.9% sure that this documentary is not going to do anything but try to appeal to people's emotions and use imagery but not facts to do so. Because it turns out that there's no law against defamation of character if the person isn't alive. So these people can do all the shit that they want to do, and they're legally protected because of that. And to me, it's like, yo, where is the response to this from the estate? Where is that at? Because to me, again, the biopic is not enough. To me, personally, it's not. And I don't know between now and the next couple of years when part 2 is supposed to drop, but it's like part 2 should be literally addressing everything. No stone can be left unturned when it comes to Michael Jackson's innocence if y'all are going to do a part 2. Because, cool, we can see music videos, we can see performances, but that's not what part 2 should be about. We had fun with the first one, but now it's time for things to get real in the second one. Because you got these people dropping these hit pieces every single day. Big and small. Because like I said, you got YouTube channels doing that shit every day. And then now you got these people dropping, Netflix documentaries, mockumentaries and shit, giving, the NPC YouTubers more ammunition. And my question to y'all as listeners is, how are you going to respond? What are you going to do to combat that? Because I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do what I got to do. Just like you see me been doing. But anyway, I just wanted to see for myself, because again, I didn't see the trailer very clearly the first time, but I see it clear as day now, especially having just briefly done my research into who Diane Diamond is, because I'm tired of this shit, man. It's like, yo, if I was Michael Jackson's like son or his nephew or his stepson or some shit like that, it's just like, yo, dog, I'm so tired of people constantly coming for this man's neck without real evidence, to support their fucking accusations. I'm tired of this shit, man, because it's not fair, because he's not here. He's not here to speak for himself. And I feel a lot of the people with the voices, they're not speaking for him. None of them. All these celebrities love Michael Jackson, right? But how many of them are going to the Breakfast Club and speaking on behalf of his innocence? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, like they're gonna give Taj Jackson the biggest platforms ever. They're not gonna do that. They don't want to give the spotlight and the microphone to the truth. They're gonna give it to the lie. And he's already done way more than he's needed to as Michael Jackson's nephew. And I still feel like that's not enough. Shout out to Siggy Jackson, same thing. It's like, yo, me and him need to link up and we need to talk and do something. Seriously. Because I feel like me and him have probably the most in common out of everybody in the Jackson family. It's like when I listen to him talk, it's like, yo, he remind me of myself. Type shit. It's like, yo, because I'm so tired of this shit. It's like, how do we address this? How do we stomp this out? And I have an idea. I know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. But yo, like we gotta unite, like Avengers Assemble type shit, because I'm so sick of this shit. I want Michael Jackson's innocence to be so like set in stone that like no matter what they do, no matter what lies they put out, the truth is readily available. The truth is just as available as the lies. That's how it needs to be. That's exactly how it needs to be. Seriously. And on that note, see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Good luck.